And speaking of pretty good, how about the guy at the top of the order in Braden Randall? Popped his first homer of the summer, 2-run shot to right field last night. On the hole, he's hitting .287, 13 RBIs out of that leadoff spot. Digs into the box. Facing the lefty Monka out of FSU. First pitch of the home half of the first misses low for ball one. Randall has been a thorn in a lot of pitchers' sides as he rolls this one to second. Farber fields cleanly. Easy throw to first in time. Guy who typically sees a lot of pitches every at-bat. Just saw two of them right there, and he's out to begin the home half of the first. We saw Farber at second. The rest of the defense behind Monka on the mound. In the outfield, it's West, Bogenpol, Stevens, the look from left to right. Johnson, Matthews, Farber, Sanderson, third to first, and Luke Lavin doing the catching for Monka behind home plate.
Yeah, something you mentioned about Braden Randall. He's been seeing a lot of pitches, and Ryan Smythe has talked about he doesn't let starters settle in very easily. Monka got him out on 2 pitches there, so maybe kind of progress that along a little bit.
So after the Randall ground out, it's Colby Turner waiting on the 1-0 pitch, attacking, popping one in the air, behind home plate, drifting out of play. Turner at .273, 4 homers, 15 RBIs. The last time Colby played the Kettleers here in Wareham, a couple of home runs, drove in 7.
Yeah, over half of his season total RBIs have come against Kituitt in 2 games.
Colby was 1 for 4 last night as he takes low for ball 2. Hit 5th last night, but facing the southpaw tonight, elevated back to the 2 spot in the order. 2-1 pitch to him. Big swing and miss at a fastball up in the zone. Gateman off of that 3rd straight win post All-Star break last night. 2-2. Weak contact. Turner just got a piece of it. Stays alive. Gateman have won 3 straight. Most recently an 8-1 win over Orleans last night. Victories against YD and Chatham as well since the All-Star weekend. 2-2 pitch, a breaking ball that stays high. Count goes full. Chris McHugh on deck. And it's really felt like the past 2 wins, kind of all-around domination. The offense has gotten going, the pitching, and the defense as well. Full count pitch. Mile-high fly ball, shallow left field. Drifting towards the line, Matthews underneath and makes the catch for out number 2.
And this Gateman hot streak goes back about 2.5 weeks now. 10 of the last 11. It's been so solid. You can go 11 of the last 13, but 10 of the last 11 sounds a little better than that.
And that's the thing. It kind of really started against this Kituitt team last time they played at home. That 16-9 win. The Gateman would drop the next one against Brewster, but
that was
since
the first
then,
that was the first win in July.
Yeah, since then, just 1 loss after the loss to Brewster. The Kituitt home matchup was the first game after that Falmouth contest in which Wareham made 7 errors. Back on July 6th, it was a 16-9 Gateman win over Kituitt. As McHugh's had in the count 2-0. Chris at .257, 5 homers, 15 runs batted in. Monka's retired the first 2 Gatemen he's seen, and now gets a strike on McHugh with that violent hack. No hits for McHugh last night, but he had a couple of fly balls that nearly left the yard, 1 to center, 1 to left. 2-1. Another big swing, got a piece of it, 2-2. Tied for the team lead in home runs, now with Caden McDonald, who launched his 5th last night. Caden waits on deck. From 2-0 to 2-2, pitch home. McHugh stays alive. Took the Gateman offense a couple innings to get going last night. Not much through the first 2 innings, but then certainly turned things around, especially in that third. 12 total hits, 8 runs. 2-2 again. McHugh continues to battle.
Yeah, all the damage done in innings 3, 4, and 5. 2-2, and then 4. That big 5th inning really put the game out of reach at that point.
Getting started an hour later tonight. Another 2-2. McHugh pops it foul. This one makes the seats as well. Good battle right now between Monka and McHugh. So Darius to inbound under the pit basket. A lob to Uche in the paint, right up with it, off the back iron and in. First points of the night belong to Uche and Syracuse, averaging just over 14 per game. 2-0 Syracuse, 9:20 to go in the opening quarter. Front court right. It's a give to Hollingsworth, who steps inside the three-point line, across far side wing, up with a 3, in and out. The attempt there coming from Michaela Johnson, who tracks down the rebound along the baseline, spins and shoots, but it was rejected by Uche. ACC leader in blocks. Syracuse from right to left. Darius cuts right into the paint. No look pass. Uche up with it, off the glass and in. What a pass from Dominique Darius, dishing the dime. Make it 4-0 Syracuse, 8:50 to go in the first quarter. Near side wing, Pittsburgh moving from left to right. This is Jada Quealy. Hands off, near side wing. Hagens and her play catch, straight away. Quealy giving to the far side wing now. Hawkins in defense, getting to the basket, putting up a contested layup was Michaela Johnson. No good off the back iron. Bounces out of bounds alongside the Syracuse bench. Last touch by the Panthers, Orange repossess. 4-0 Syracuse, 8:28 to go in this opening frame. Dominique Darius across the timeline. Far side wing, Feely into the corner. Burrows catch and shoot, too short. Rebound located by Jada Quealy. Here comes Pittsburgh in transition. A skip ahead pass off of Shy Hawkins. She then repossesses at the SU free throw line, dribbles it ahead with the right hand. A carry as she took it to the far side wing. So after the Pitt turnover, they'll get it right back as Hawkins is whistled down.
Pittsburgh is struggling to facilitate its offense so far, Corey. All of these Syracuse steals so far have just been simply getting in the lanes and just stopping easy, predictable passes.
Higgins, who has been the primary ball handler this season, has it here, far side wing. Straight away. Hollingsworth ducks into the paint. Righty layup around and down. First points of the night for the Panthers belong to Megan Hollingsworth. Make it a 4-2 game under 8 minutes to go. Hawkins receives the pass, near side wing. Behind her, it is Dominique Darius with the left hand. Try to fire it down low to Uche. Tipped away by Quealy. In transition now. Slams on the brakes at the free throw line. Tried to work it down low to Russ. Tipped out of bounds by Uche hustling back on defense. Pitt ball underneath the Syracuse basket. And to that point of who's going to handle the ball for Pitt, Hagen's kind of more of a scoring point guard. Does lead the team in assists nonetheless. Inbound pass tipped away by Felia. Hawkins all alone in transition. Easy lefty layup is good. 6-2 Syracuse. 7.5 left to play, opening quarter. And it's been strong defense for the Orange so far. Darius guarding Higgins, who gets a screen. Straight away. Step back 3 on the way. Nothing but air. Bounces out of bounds. Syracuse ball.
Syracuse already 3 steals, Corey, and it's been, like I keep saying, getting into those passing lanes, turning defense into offense. It's leading to easy baskets for Syracuse, and the Orange up early. Big reason why.
And not a good look for Higgins. An air ball 3. Her team's down by 4 7-minute mark. Burrows straight away. Syracuse from right to left. Darius looking over options, far side wing. To the top of the key, it's Hawkins with the lefty dribble. Guarded by Higgins, tried to get into the paint. Russ was right there to get a piece of that shot. And it was last touched by Hawkins, who couldn't get to the basket. Strong stand for the Panthers defensively, and Lauren Rust, who was the first player on this Pitt team named captain, the redshirt sophomore from Canada. On the other end, it's Jada Quealy at the logo. Rockets one off. Here's Higgins. Righty dribble, able to get past Dominique Darius and kisses it off the glass for 2. Good-looking basket for Teresa Higgins. Pittsburgh up to 4 points. They trail by 2 at 6-4.
Number 15, Syracuse women's lacrosse finally found some offense and finally found the win column in last night's 15-7 triumph against number 13 Loyola, in part thanks to a lineup change. One of SU's regular starters at attack, Ashley Volpe, exited the starting lineup. Enter sophomore Annie Parker. That change paid dividends for the Orange in a big way. Right off the bat, Jolie Caramelli got the SU going early. Guess who assisted that score? Annie Parker. Told you she made an immediate impact. Not even a minute later, Molly Guzik finds the back of the net. Get used to hearing her name. She's been getting it done in the draw control circle and on the offensive end. But this was kind of the theme throughout the first half. The Greyhounds were really able to stay in this game. The Orange utilized a varied attack offensively. Their first 6 goals came from 6 different players. Annie Parker picked up a couple of assists, but this was just a 2-goal game at halftime. SU never led by more than 2 scores across the first 30 minutes, and a lot of people worried that these offensive struggles for SU would continue. Remember, Syracuse is yet to eclipse double-digit goals in any game this season. Caroline Trinkus set SU into the break on a high note. Then everything just started to kind of change in the third quarter. Molly Guzik, told you to remember that name, does it all herself, not even a minute into the third quarter, and that really seemed to wake the sleeping giant. Bree Peters here with the snipe into the back of the net. These were the first 2 of 7 straight goals by the Orange to open the third quarter. How's this for domination? SU recorded 7 shots on goal. All 7 of them found the back of the net. Melina Cotter joins the party with the lefty finish. Really nicely job by SU on the power play. The Orange really started to get things going as well. Molly Guzik, first career hat trick for the sophomore. Again, what a job she's done. Mackenzie Rich and Melina Cotter put the finishing touches on the third quarter onslaught. Syracuse ultimately took this one 15-7. As for the men, SU most recently fell to number 4 Harvard 13-12 Saturday. It's the program's first loss of the season. The Orange now sit at 3-1, and they're not done with Ivy League opponents. The Cuse takes on 2 more Ivies this weekend, starting with number 7 Princeton Friday, followed by number 19 Penn Sunday. Why is that significant? Well, check out SU's recent matchups with Ivy League foes. It includes 4 matchups from last season, 3 of which were decided by just 1 goal. Even that Cornell game that ended a little lopsided was separated by just 2 scores in the third quarter. SU took down both Harvard and Princeton by a goal to get to the NCAA tournament, advance to the semifinals. So if history is any indication, we should be in store for not 1, but 2 good matchups this weekend. And for head coach Gary Gait, these early season weekend sets, especially against Ivy opponents, help prepare SU for postseason play.
You said it, Josh. So close yet again as we welcome you into Orange Overtime. I'm your host, Cory Miller. I think part of the reason why this is going to be such a frustrating loss if you're Syracuse, all you had to do today is win. Eliminate the pressure the rest of the regular season. Yeah, you wouldn't have been favored in the ACC tournament, but now there's pressure on you to at least win 1 game over this next stretch because now Pittsburgh has a chance to possibly leapfrog you into that final spot. You know, this was a game Syracuse loses 88-83. It was only a 4-point game at half, but you still felt really good about it because of how great Syracuse shot the 3-ball. A game removed after shooting 3 of 17 from beyond the arc. And like Josh and just discussed after that one went final, it wasn't like Syracuse played that poorly in the second half. They still continued to churn for the most part offensively. They finished shooting 52% from the floor, 50% from 3, but they just simply couldn't defend, and more specifically, they couldn't defend in the paint against the team that's last in the conference in rebounding. You want to look in the paint? Wake Forest got 46 points to Syracuse's 20. That seemed like it was the difference in this game. Miles Colvin was the leading man for Wake Forest throughout, 32 points in this one. Really kind of picked up the slack because Juke Harris, the guy who's just been the dominant offensive force throughout the season for the Demon Deacons, I think if you asked Adrian Autry if he would have been satisfied with holding him to 13 points before the game, he would have loved that, but it really didn't matter because Miles Colvin, Spillers, a couple of other players really picked up the slack for Wake Forest. And again, just doing it in the paint against this 2-3 zone, just not effective once again. Listen, it wasn't like Syracuse's bigs were in foul trouble. Donnie wasn't really up there. William Kyle wasn't in foul trouble. Syracuse continued to connect in the second half, but they just could not get a stop, and that allowed Wake Forest to pull away with this victory. They win it 88-83.